Okay, so you all wake up after your long rest, feeling refreshed, and you find that you are not next to the lake. You are on the other side of the tree line to where you entered the forest. You can kind of see the mist kind of hovering just ahead of you, further into the forest, but you are no longer within the confines of the forest.
Did we drink last night? Did we get drunk and wander off?
Nathan kind of deliriously looks up.
I think we might have walked. Wait, who was on last watch?
I don't think we took a watch.
I think you guaranteed our safety.
Yeah, I think we could just have a big
Oh,
sleep.
no one was. Oh.
Okay, guys, check your bags, maybe? See if you've got everything.
I'm going to rummage through my little book pouch and...
You all rifle through all your stuff.
I'm just going to check to see that my ear things
Yeah,
are
they're
on.
still there. Who wanted the amulet, by the way, of proof against detection and location?
What does it do again?
But it's an attunement item, so you have to be attuned to it, and you can only be attuned to 3 things. While wearing this amulet, you are hidden from divination magic. You can't be targeted by such magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. So basically, if someone's trying to magically find out where you are, they can't. Nathan kind of chuckles and looks around. Is anyone being looked for at the minute?
Not that I know of.
Pursued?
Those bastards at the University of Magic are after me. Those bloody destruction wizards.
I don't think they are, but if you're paranoid, unless anyone else wants it.
I can get by myself, I think.
If the wizard has people after him, I think he should have it.
Awesome. You can get to add amulet of proof against detection and location to your character sheet. And I'll allow you to, whilst you're kind of getting ready to go, spend time attuning to it. It is on a gold chain. It's like a little kind of gold piece of jewelry at the bottom, got like gold metal, and then it's got an amber gem pressed into its center. Yeah, cool. You wake up, you're not by the lake anymore, but you are exactly where you were when you entered the forest. You seem to all have all of your things still on you, all your money. You all, like I say, feel very refreshed. You don't seem to have taken any damage. You don't feel tired or anything. You feel good and ready to go.
Right, well, I think we should just keep going then, and maybe we'll see our friends again later.
That does sound like a good plan. Shall we have breakfast first?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you will break bread, have your breakfast, get ready to go. Is anyone looking for rations today?
Yeah, I'll have a hunt for some forage.
Cook some of that fish we caught. Try and make some kippers.
Yeah, no, you have a glorious breakfast. You're all well fed. As you kind of get on the road, you said you're looking for stuff. Is anyone else looking for stuff?
Yeah, I might just have my javelin ready to see if I have anything moving. See anything
fine.
moving in the woods.
Nathan's navigating. What's everyone else doing?
Can I have a refer to the map that we're taking, see if we're on track?
Yep, you speak to Nathan, you passes that over, you kind of unfold it and have a little look. Give me a survival check.
A 4.
You cannot make heads nor tails of
You're
this.
holding it upside down.
Could I possibly have a look at the map? I want to compare to see with the map that I have kind of drawn out through, my own.
So have you been trying to create a map whilst you've been going along?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have mentioned, I've been
Yeah, that's fine.
taking notes and
give me a survival
creating
check, that's
maps
fine.
and stuff. I just want to make sure that the notes and the map that I've created.
Do you have a book to map making?
No,
Cool.
I just have my own notes.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, that's fine.
You have a little look, and you kind of look in compare your map with the map that kind of Nathan acquired, and you realise that the track you brought is starting to bring you towards foothills, and you are nowhere near foothills. You can take this time to kind of correct what you were doing a little bit if you want, try and make some changes here and there, but it's kind of at this point just copying the map that you've already got.
Maybe I need to assess this a little further.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. So you spend the rest of your day trying to learn how to do some map baking. Valna and Derek are doing food gathering, so I'm going to get survival checks from you two as well.
20. Dirty 20.
That's a success.
12 for Derek.
That is also a success.
Nice.
You find 10 pounds of food, so you find 5 days rations.
Sweet. Nice.
How do you want to kind of split that up? Everyone gets one ration?
Everyone gets
One,
one, yeah.
Don't forget our little custard.
The next couple of days go by, in fact, the next 3 days really go by pretty uneventfully. As you spend your way around, you have Valna and Derek doing foraging, hunting. One day, I think Derek perhaps is tromping a bit too loudly to find anything, but kind of makes his way around. But you manage to get kind of enough to keep you going, and then a little bit more to keep kind of feed Custard's voracious appetite. You kind of look around and you're like, the environment's got a lot more hilly, and like I say, you've occasionally come across like a flock of sheep which are being grazed, maybe the occasional homestead or tumbled down building, you know, kind of like when you're walking through the Yorkshire Dales and you've been walking for miles and you just see like a random stone building and a few flocks of sheep. It's that kind of vibe as you're making your way through.
Derek, do you think it might be worth paying one of these farmers for a couple of their sheep to slaughter? Just so we've got a bit more food for...
I would say that if you kill the sheep, it would only keep you going for one day because you don't really have the stuff on you to preserve it.
Probably not worth
Yeah, we can just kill a deer or something, right? Go hunting.
I'm sick of venison.
It's when you say that, David kind of turns to Val and goes, "Do you hear that? Your lordship's sick of venison, so I guess we should be working on getting some rabbits, Valma."
Yeah, okay. I'll have a look for something else.
He kind of gives you a sly wink and says, "You can't get the staff, can you?" As he looks at you.
I do miss Terence. He was a good man.
I'm not surprised to see whose side you're taking.
He stomps off.
Are we close to a town?
No, you're not. You're
long gone
way
now.
past any towns. It is day 9 since you left, all settling down for your long rest. So it's about midnight. Belmont and Zaga sitting next to each other, kind of keeping an eye on camp.
So, have you been keeping an eye on your lessons, my dear?
I've got some work that'll keep me occupied.
What carcass in the capital best transmits lightning for the effect of resurrection better than any other? This creature is sentient. Answer me now.
Lightning elemental?
Absolutely. We use them to power the laboratories in the university to keep the equipment alive. Very good, Zaga.
Can you two both give me a perception check?
22.
22.
That is a 16.
So, as Belmont is educating you, I guess, kind of not droning on, but speaking, I don't know if you drift off temporarily because he's going over something he said before, but you hear, like, laughter. Not like giggles, not like a tinkling giggle, but like a... like, quite far away from camp.
Professor,
Yes.
I don't wish to alarm you, but do you hear that?
Hear what?
When you stop talking, you can again hear it, that kind of like chittering laughter, kind of cackling. But like that kind of laughter, but quite quiet, almost like it's like under someone's breath and they can't control it.
Don't you dare mock my theories. I've had enough of this. Necromancy is a legitimate school of magic. Don't you mock me. Vietnam flashbacks of like me and my younger student
Always
years.
Vietnam
You
flashback.
just have like flashbacks to people like,
Necromancer.
zombie
freak.
boy, zombie
Yeah.
boy. Do you look in the direction of it, or?
Yeah. Well, I kind of like not wave around, like, you know, when you're like looking, trying to like spin around, trying to find the source.
Zaga would have already stood up, and I think with that roll I'd be able to tell which direction it comes from.
Does Belmont's
Easily, yeah.
outburst wake us?
I would say so. If you're sleeping, that kind of outburst wakes you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zaga's stood up, already looking in the direction that the sound's coming from.
The fire kind of casts a shadow on the woods around you. So there's a good amount of bright light and a bit of dim light that kind of trails off. Again, I say the woods. It's not really woods. There's like spots of trees here and there, but it's mostly kind of rolling farmland you're in. And you can kind of see the silhouette of something. Do you have dark vision as a half-orc?
I do. 60 foot.
So it's a bit brighter for you because you can kind of see through this dim light pretty well. And you see a creature that seems to be hunched over itself, kind of like with a crooked back, kind of wandering towards you. And you can see almost like a feline face. And you can see in the kind of light enhanced by dark vision, long fangs. In one of its hands, it's holding something, but you can't quite tell what it is. And you can see it's just kind of giggling as it kind of starts to wander towards you. It looks like it might be about 8 foot tall, but it's bent over, so it's probably even taller. And then as you're kind of looking, you see a second one kind of coming with it, with the same kind of manically giggling as it wanders in your direction.
Could I cast Mage Hand to try and grab the item from one of their hands? So my thinking is that if it's a weapon and I grab it, then they can't then attack me with it.
Can I like move to like hide behind some trees, like to go in? I suppose, are we in the...
I was going to say, I said trees. There's not really trees. You're just in rolling kind of pasture, like farmland.
Okay, well, can I have a look for somewhere to like hide, like a big rock or something?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll say there's a boulder of some variety you can kind of hide behind. Give me a stealth check.
15?
Cool. You kind of stealth behind a rock. Everyone except Derek, you know what these creatures are. These are gnolls. Gnolls are humanoid hyena creatures. You don't know much about them, but you know two things. They are somehow spawn of some horrifying other world, closely akin to demons to an extent. And you also know that their appetite never finishes.
Yeah, the wave of the hand, dig deep down inside. The air goes cold around me as I long cast my mage armor. The bones obviously go and envelop around me. The skin cape.
I didn't hear you say skin.
Yeah, it's a cape made of flesh and skin and grimness. As you
I keep it nice and oiled.
As you start to cast that spell, they're kind of slowly walking towards you. And you can see like one of them kind of through the giggling keeps kind of going. He's like extending a hand out. And you can see there's like slather coming from their jaws. And as they come towards you, like the firelight illuminates them. They kind of glow in an orange light. Their clothes, if you can call them that, just look like skins, like animal skins stripped upon them. Some have hair, some don't. You see patches of sheepskin in there. They're holding really crude spears, but you can see the spears are jagged, rusted, and have dried blood upon them. And as they come in, they are even taller than you, Derek, as they stand there with their kind of like terrifying jaws giggling maniacally with their hands extended. I'd say at this point they're probably about 25 feet away, kind of in the light of your fire. And it looks like they're talking, but not in any language any of you understand, unless any of you speak Gnoll. It kind of retracts its hand back, opens, cackling as it points in towards its maw. And you can see kind of like there are flecks of dried blood on the hair around its mouth, and kind of points to it, and then extends its hand back out again.
I think it may be hungry.
The gnolls, they're always hungry. They'll never be fed.
There's nothing in their hands, is it? It's empty.
There's not in the hand they extend. In the other hand, they have like a rudimentary spear kind of thing.
We don't really have enough rations to spare.
You see its face kind of turns from a kind of like, it was never pleasant. It was never welcoming, but at least it was entertaining the idea you would feed it, and it kind of turns into a grimace. And you can hear a growl, not just from its throat, but almost from its own stomach. And in that moment, you feel your own stomachs grumble, as if you can feel their hunger. And it kind of grips its weapon a little tighter and extends its hand again and kind of shakes it in front of you. Still cackling, but through that kind of grimaced face of fury.
I think we may only have one option. They don't seem like they're going to listen to reason. They don't seem friendly.
We should kill them now, put them out of the misery.
Well, I'd say Derek's a big guy. He likes his food. And it looks like these things aren't friendly.
Derek doesn't share food.
And he's getting ready to use his breath weapon. And
Should we roll initiative as you prepare to lunge into a fight?
Yes.
As you all leap into action, for fuck's sake, Nathan is going to Nathan's going to run back behind that conveniently placed boulder, and see Valna and go, oh, hello. And then kind of tuck in behind you as he gets his crossbow ready. It is number 2. That is Belmont. Belmont, what are you doing?
You see me swaying my arms around, making all sorts of arcane signs. You feel the air goes cold. The grass around us starts to shrivel and die as you see frost comes upon it. And I will twin cast, using my second sorcery point, Chill Touch.
Which one? The one that was extending its hand and the one behind it?
It has to be...
Oh, you can do both.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So do you want me to do them one at once or both at the same time?
One than the other.
15.
It's a hit.
Yes.
That hits.
4. And it can't regain hit points till the next turn.
Cool. And then the other one goes to the other one.
That was only a 7, so that was...
That one kind of goes wide. As you stand there, the grass going cold and dying around you, 2 hands extend, flying out towards the gnolls. One kind of strokes across the guy in front of you, and you can see you kind of pull life from him, as the other one kind of behind it has a moment to respond, kind of ducks and dives out of the way as the old deathly hand kind of courses past and disapparates into the night.
Well, it's time for you to defend the righteous, Derek. And I step back behind him and pat him on the back.
Yeah, because I would probably say they got within 10 feet of you.
Yeah.
So how far away would you want to go?
15 foot.
Cool. You start to back off. Derek, you're up.
Derek's going to step up to them. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of at the front.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath in and use his breath weapon.
Wonderful. Is it a con save?
It's a dex save of 13.
Dex save of 13. That is a 12 and a 3. Both fail.
Nice. So it's a d10 apiece of force damage. It was 3.
Wonderful. You open your mouth and sound waves blow out towards the gnolls, and you can see it kind of ricochets over their bodies. But you can also see, so you've used this power a few times when you were practicing with it, and also perhaps, well, obviously when you last fought those bandits, and you're used to it doing a fair amount of damage. But these gnolls seem quite hardy, and you see they're still standing ready to fight. As this happens, they close in on you, Derek. Both the gnolls kind of start to sprint towards you. As they get there, they kind of prepare their spears, and they lunge to attack. That is an 18.
Hits.
You take 8 points of piercing damage, and then a 16.
Miss.
Which armor class?
18.
Nice. The two gnolls sprint towards you. The first one kind of ramming its spear into your, kind of finds a purchase, like maybe in your chain, maybe where it connects or somewhere, and drives it into, and you feel it draw blood. As you kind of roar in pain, you stagger back, and as the other one prepares to lunge in, it kind of gets its spear, but kind of bounces, like slides off your armor. But they are kind of both next to you and slathering. You can see they are so hungry as they drool before you. Beautiful. 5 is Zag.
Me. Eldritch Blast them.
Cool. I'd say you're about 10 feet away, which is fine. So roll to attack.
Oh, that's a 2 plus 4.
6. As you stand there preparing your... how do you cast spells with your quill, I think you said before? You kind of incarnate the spell with ink and then fire it at the beasts. But maybe you're trying to... Cause you've never seen a creature like this before. You're trying to kind of get a good eye for them in the dark, and the Eldritch Blast kind of courses past. Maybe you're also trying to not hit Derek as they kind of bear upon him, teeth thrashing, and it kind of courses off into the night.
Yeah, I imagine that. I'm probably too busy trying to sketch and make notes that I've panicked and left... I'm like, oh shit, me. Oh.
Oh my god. As if you're actually waiting for your turn.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Sorry about that. That is then Valna.
Yeah, I'm going to pop my head out the top and get my crossbow ready and shoot it towards the closest one to me.
Crossbow or bow and arrow?
Crossbow. I've
Crossbow,
got
nice.
both.
You have advantage because you are hidden.
So that's a 21.
That will hit.
That's a 7 damage.
Nice.
And then I'm going to shout over to Custard, get him, Custard! You can do it! Right, and then I'm going to hide back behind.
You can't take the hide action, unfortunately, because it takes
Is that
full
an-
action.
that's an
an
action.
action. But you
Okay,
can
but I can duck behind it.
give me an animal handling check. Yeah, you can get cover, but you just won't be hidden. Give me an animal handling check, see if you can convince Custard.
7.
Custard's kind of like freaking out a little bit. You can see he's starting to beat his wings and kind of rearing up with his claws extended, trying to scare them off, basically.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Okay.
seem like it's working, but he's kind of scraping the ground trying to scare him off. He's not diving in to protect anyone because nothing's attacked him yet. He's just freaking out a little bit,
Okay.
like a horse bucking, basically.
Fair.
Nathan did not successfully hide. So he is going to fire his crossbow as normal. 10 points of damage. Jesus. You and Nathan, Valna, kind of jump up behind, maybe at the same time, look at each other, nod, and fire 2 arrows at the gnoll. Both of them strike, and the gnoll kind of goes down dead. Nice. Good stuff. Belmont's turn.
I am just going to be boring and like, well, the first one seemed to work. Let's try it again.
Chill touch.
Chill touch again, wrapping around its maw and trying to close it.
Beautiful. Roll to attack.
16.
16 hits.
That is 5 more necrotic damage on its maw,
Nice.
freezing its little nose.
You continue to drain energy out of the gnoll as it kind of continues to savage. You see it's just kind of stepped over the corpse of the person it was with, clearly not too bothered by the fact it's died, begging forward, and almost not noticing as you draw necromantic life from it. Nice. Derek.
I'm going to swing my long sword at the one that's remaining.
Wonderful.
Can I use my inspiration?
You may.
So an 11 or a 9.
Neither of those strike, unfortunately. You stand there with your longsword. It's so in your face. You hadn't drawn your longsword yet, and as you kind of pull it out, maybe one of its claws, it's kind of grabs and pulls you out of the way, trying to stab you, and you're not able to strike it with your sword. As you do that, it tries to lunge in at you with a spear. That is an 18 to hit. You take 6 points of piercing damage.
Derek is decked.
Well, unconscious.
Down.
Bites on you viciously. It can then use its bonus action to move half its speed and make a bite attack. It kind of, as you go down, it sprints away from you, lunges, and grabs onto Belmont.
Oh no!
As it kind of runs towards you, but it slips on the guts of its friend, stumbles over Derek, and tries to get to you. Its jaw wrench, and you just see it kind of crunch at your face, but the magic protection around you, poof, it bounces off as it's just kind of above you. Again, I mean, how tall is Belmont?
He's about 6'3",
Cool.
6'4".
This thing's 8 foot tall above you with its jaws open. You can feel drool and the blood of kind of dripping down on you. It stands, stinks in
I
your
need
face.
a bath. I need a bath. I need a bath.
That is 5. That is Zaga. You see Derek go down and start bleeding out.
I have no healing. Like I can't help that.
Same.
No, you can make a medicine check to stabilize him so he's not bleeding out. But what's his face? Nathan is very good at that.
Yeah. So I will try and just cast Eldritch Blast again, please.
Nice. If you would like to roll to attack.
12.
Again, you fire out your Eldritch Blast. It courses across the ceiling, kind of making it into panic as you see Derek on the floor as it kind of courses over it, as you see it towering above Belmont, unable to strike. I'm really sorry, my friend. Valna, you're up.
I'm going to go again with my crossbow.
Wonderful.
20, dirty 20.
A dirty 20 will hit.
7 damage again.
Yeah, nice. You strike with your bolt as you see it continues to try and devour Belmont. It's still standing.
Okay, I take a berry and I say, custard! And just throw it at his head. As in, like, the doll's head. To try and get custard to, like, go and...
Give me an animal handling check with advantage.
Oh, I rolled an 18 and then a 19, and I've got a +5. So that's 24.
Custard, who was clearly panicking, kind of looks over at you as you say that, lets out a squawk and flies towards the knoll, allowing him to make his attack.
So he gets a multi-attack, which is one with his beak and one with his claws.
Cool. So roll once for each. So roll for his beak.
15?
So 20. Yeah, so roll damage for that.
8 damage.
Oh, Custard, as you say that,
Gets
you
the
say,
berry from
Custard,
her.
get him! You fly the berry, and as Custard see that, his wings bend, and he whooshes across the battlefield, tears the creature off of Belmont, and his beak just goes into the skull of the knoll to get the beak, and it looks like... Beautiful. Out of initiative. Oh, no, we're not out of initiative, because you are still bleeding out, Derek.
But it's Nathan's turn.
Nathan's turn. Is he going to use his... he expends a healer's kit. You wake up on 1 hit point and he starts patching you up.
Nice.
Beautiful. After all that, you clean yourselves up.
Nathan, more soap.
Nathan's kind of patching up Derek. He's like, I'll come over in a little bit. Derek, you all right?
Ooh, a berry. And take the berry that hit the thing on the head and eat it.
Derek... Nathan kind of looks over at Valda, who imagines wandered over at this point, and you both kind of share a look of like, let's not tell him, as they kind of patch you up. Nathan comes over to you. Are you hurt? Are you all right?
I'm covered in knoll saliva. What do you think? It's so much bacteria. Do you know how many carcasses these things eat?
Everybody except Derek, you get a long rest. Derek, you get a short rest because you took a lot of damage and you were woken up in the night. You wake up the next day, feeling a bit bloodied. You still see the corpses of the gnolls, maybe attracting flies at this point as I buzz.
Maybe I should move those.
Why? Said Nathan.
We're camped 4 meters away from them.
Well, you've woken up. You're all good.
I mean, just disease and general knowledge of gnolls.
Yeah, maybe you moved your camp a little bit further away when you went to sleep. You're like, let's move our bedrolls to the other side of the rock.
Let's face it, you spent the whole time rubbing yourself with soap anyway, so...
And you continue your journey towards the woods. And it is on this day that you arrive at the Agatha Woods. You can see them for maybe half a mile before you get there. You perhaps crest a small hill of the rolling farmland, and you can kind of see the land kind of dips down, and you get like an aerial view of these woods. And at this vantage, you can see several things. You can see the Agatha woods stretching out for incomprehensible miles before you. You know these woods are perhaps the size of certainly the size of a small nation. They take up such a vast amount of area, and beyond them, on the other side, barely visible over the horizon, you can see what you know to be the Ridge Mountains, the home of the reclusive dwarves. And then one singular, lonely mountain amongst the woods, far off to your right. And you can see there is no actual path, but the route you are going to take further into the depths of the woods. As you make your way down, kind of with Custard either flying above you or walking by your side, you get closer and closer to these trees. And you get to the kind of the line, you can start to hear birds tweeting and that kind of thing. And as you get closer, you see that light is almost swallowed by the depth of these woods. Nothing magical, just dense woodland. As you speak, the footsteps are kind of swallowed by its depth, and you stand before somewhere you know is very dangerous.
And yet I feel more comfortable than I have in weeks.
Yeah, Valna's like itching to get into these woods. These
And
woods
they're like, look, Zaga, look at this. And then like pointing out different birds and plants and like, look, it's a brown speckled tree finch. Like, come see this.
brown speckled tree finch stands and looks at you. Do you reckon any of you have been, with the exception of Valna, do you reckon any of you have been to the Agatha woods or anything like this before?
Belmont's never been.
Belmont's very left the city.
Yeah, Belmont's very disconcerted with this amount of wood in his face.
Oh, do you not like that? Nathan, I have some bad news.
Not this kind of wood.
It's too intimidating and girthy.
Valna, you're good at seeing elves, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. But we're not going to be chopping down any trees anyway, so I'm sure they won't mind us being here.
Well, we might
Just passing through.
How thick are these trees? Are they proper wide, or
They are
Thousands of years old.
Yeah, these are ancient. Like a lot of these, you're thinking kind of like those redwoods in California. There are obviously smaller trees spread throughout, so that's like it almost feels like I don't know, like a redwood falls down and ash trees grow in their place, and there's bits here. But it seems to be mostly these kind of vast trees, and they certainly get bigger as you go further in. You can't see, this doesn't look to be the site of any recent industry. There doesn't seem to have been any recent forestry in this kind of area. You know that hundreds of centuries, maybe like millennia ago, obviously forestry did happen around here. That's how the farmland exists around you today. But no, these trees, maybe not redwoods, they are fucking huge, but like big old trees.
what creatures can we expect in their Vanya? What threats to our lives and gizzards?
Gizzards.
You know, the organ that processes...
Giz.
Yes, giz.
The
I
gizzard.
don't know about you and your giz.
Processes giz.
I don't know. Shall I do a nature check to see, like,
Yeah,
what
give me a
would come
nature
to
check.
mind when he asked that?
With advantage.
14.
14. You know that the usual affair lives in the Agatha woods. But one thing you will know is, again, because this forest is so vast, it's not, again, you'll come across sections of different types of trees, like an oak wood and stuff like this as you go through. But you know that in any part of the woods you can come across anything in particular. You know that there are tribes of lizard folk that dwell within the woods who are very, very territorial. You know that there are, in some of the kind of more to the western side where it kind of comes towards the Agargarth swamp, there are tribes of bullywugs.
Will we
and
be
stuff
going
like
that way?
No, you won't be going in that direction. You also know the forest is the dominion of a good deal of dragons.
Okay.
There are a good amount of green dragons that dwell within these woods. You often find they're in familial groups. So there's no truly ancient dragons that live here, but there are a good handful of adult dragons that consider the forests their dominion, and they themselves have children that kind of live within the woods. So you are likely to, if you attack a dragon, you are likely to incur the ire of a bigger
more
dragon.
dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know that there are trolls in these woods, but you don't know too much about them. And then the usual affair.
Yeah.
Bears.
Foxes.
Foxes, like the usual kind of forest animals,
Fauna.
dwell in here as well,
Yeah.
which provide their own threats, as well as ogres also do, because you have fought
Ogres,
ogres
yeah.
as well. Far to the north, there are rumours of giants, but you don't know how true that is.
Okay. Yeah, so there's obviously there's all those sort of foresty creatures, like got to keep an eye out for bears and things. There's dragons, and if we do see a dragon, they tend to come in groups. So, I mean, not that I'd want to fight a dragon anyway, but they might have backup if we do. And think I've heard about trolls, but I haven't actually seen any. But there's a lot of stories back in my hometown in Lyrianford about trolls, and
Nathan kind of piped in. I hear they don't get on with goats very well.
I'm not sure about. As I say, I've not seen a troll. There are definitely ogres. I've definitely seen ogres. Oh, and we just got to be careful as well, because we might come across elven territory, but lizard folk tend to be a little bit more territorial, so we've got to be careful we don't.
More territorial than elves.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. He looks into the depths of the woods.
Yeah, just be cautious, and if we see people or animals, they're probably going to think we're on their territory.
I
so
feel like you should lead the way, then, yeah?
yeah, I can do that.
Valna.
Oh, was it Valna?
Yes.
Derek, come here, please. And I'm going to cast light upon his breastplate.
Oh.
Your breastplate shines with a brilliant light.
Correction, it's a horrible, sickly, luminous green.
Your breastplate shines with a horrible, luminous, sickly green into the woods. And you can kind of see, again, where you have had lanterns before, it kind of gradually trickles off into getting darker and darker. It kind of feel like it stops very pointedly where it gets black.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the front edge of that so they can still see me, but I'm, as, less of a spectacle as I can be.
Are you sure there's no way round, Nathan?
We can't
You fancy
go.
taking the best part of a year?
Look, you can't go over it and you can't go under it. You've just got to go through it.
Come on, we're on a tomb hunt. We're not scared.
We've been on a few of those, and the authorities were our biggest issues there, and I don't think they'll be
He
here.
elbows you with the gun.
What are we doing exactly?
Looking for a tomb.
Yeah, but what about the authorities? Why?
Don't worry about it. Onward! Valna, if you'd like to lead the way.
Yep, okay, this way.
Perfect. You start to make your way into the woods. A day passes. You manage to get your long rest because you haven't taken any damage. So even if you fail to set up camp, you're all right. I assume, Derek, are you still doing survival checks?
Yeah, I think Derek's going to want to hunt as much as he can on the way. 'Cause
Nice.
He's more concerned than the people smaller than him that he's going to run out of food.
So if you're now leading the way, you can either lead the way or you can forage.
Oh, I'll lead the way.
Cool. So Derek's foraging. Give me a survival check.
5.
5. I feel like if you do come across it, you fail at your foraging, but what happens? How do you fail hunting in the woods?
I imagine I was crawling through with my lit tit, my
Your lit tit.
breastplate just
Wonderful.
shining, and saw a rabbit, went to throw the javelin just as everything went dim, but threw it anyway, with full confidence that I was going to hit it. Went over to the javelin, blindly felt that it had, in fact, pierced something, and then got back to camp and presented some moss on a javelin.
As you come back, do you declare something as you come back to camp?
We'll be eating well tonight.
Nathan turns around with an elated smile upon his face and goes, very funny.
My mistake.
Fox. How long will you have that brewing in the tank?
I just thought of it then, I swear.